Jai Hind students. So in our previous classes, we discussed about the different types of the diseases as well as we discussed about the diseases caused by microorganisms in human beings. Now, it's not that ki microorganisms can affect human beings only. They may cause diseases in animals also and plants. So today we are going to discuss first disease causing microorganism and viruses in animals, and then we will discuss about the plants. The animals, they also suffer from the diseases. The diseases of dairy animals are broadly classified into three types, and they are parasitic, infectious and non-infectious. Now parasitic means the organism, the microorganism is totally dependent upon the host, getting the food from the host. Infectious, which can communicate or which can pass from one animal to another or from one organism to another. Non-infectious diseases, they do not pass or communicate, or they do not infect other person. The animal suffering from any disease shows the following symptoms. Whenever the animals they suffer, like we also suffer from the diseases and we show certain symptoms as human beings. In the same manner, even animals, when they suffer from the diseases, they show certain symptoms, and that shows that they are not feeling well, because they cannot speak like us. They cannot express themselves by saying that I'm having headache or I'm having stomach problem. So they show certain symptoms that reflects that they are suffering from a diseases. And these symptoms are becomes inactive and stop taking the food. First of all, the animals, they will not be very active. They won't be able to do anything, and they will stop taking the food immediately. They won't eat anything. Watering in eyes and excessive excretion of saliva. This is another symptom which can be seen in animals if they are suffering from a disease, that water comes out from their eyes and excessive excretion, and they give out lot of saliva from their mouth. Then if it is a milk animal or a dairy animal, then the milk yield may get reduced. If it's a poultry animal, the leg animals, the capacity decreases drastically, means they are not able to produce the good amount of eggs. So these are the very common symptoms which shows that animals are suffering from diseases. Now parasites, they get their food from the body of animals and make it weak. As I told you before also, the parasites or the microorganisms which live inside the host body, they get the food from the animals, and because of that, whatever nutrients which are supposed to be for the animal is being taken by the parasites. So in that case, the animal becomes weak. Now these parasites can be of two types. It can be external, means they are living externally on the body of an animal, or they may be internal, means they are living inside the body of an animal. Now external parasites, they live on the skin and mainly cause skin diseases. Internal parasites such as worms, they live in stomach or intestine. Now the external parasites, the best example of external parasites, it can be leech or the lice in the body of an animal. Now these lice and leech, they suck the blood of an animal, so they are external parasites and making the animal weak. Another microorganisms which may be seen on the external part of the body are fungus, the fungi. They may cause skin infection. It may sometimes becomes a reason for the hair loss of the animal. So they are the external parasites which are living on the external part of their body. Internal parasites like the worms, as I told you, they are living inside the body of an animal, either in the intestine or stomach. Now whatever nutrients which are being absorbed by the animal in the intestine is being taken by the microorganisms. So the host animal is not getting any nutrients. Everything is taken by the microorganisms, and in that case the animal becomes weak. Infectious diseases are mainly caused by bacteria and viruses in animals. The diseases which may spread from one animal to another or one organism to another, they are generally caused by bacteria and virus. And those diseases are, the first is the pox virus. This is again a kind of a pox in which is very commonly seen in animals. In the same way, like we have the pox, the chicken pox, smallpox, even the animals, they also suffer from the pox disease, and it is caused by the virus. And in this case, you can see the picture the animal is suffering from a pox disease. Another is dermatitis. It is again caused by the virus. You can see the animal's hair, it's fallen down. He is having a problem. You can see the patches on the surface of the animal, external surface of the animal. So this is a kind of a dermatitis which is caused by virus. Another foot and mouth disease. In this, lot of salivation takes place. Salivation means lot of saliva is being given out by the animals. As you can see, the animal is giving out lot of saliva. So this is again a viral disease in animals. Then another disease is rinderpest. It is caused by bacteria. Now in this, generally animals suffer from diarrhea. Diarrhea means they continuously excrete something, or they defecate continuously, loose motions. They also suffer from the loose motions, and in that case the animal becomes very weak, and this is a bacterial disease. Okay, so continuous disease. Sometimes the water also coming out from the eyes, from the mouth, saliva is coming out, solid waste is also coming out continuously. They suffer from the loose motion. So these are the problems that takes place in rinderpest, and it is caused by bacteria. Now this is another disease very common, anthrax, which is again caused by the bacteria. This you have studied in class 7th also, very common disease in animals. Now what are the symptoms of foot and mouth disease? The foot and mouth disease, the common symptom, excessive salivation. Excessive salivation, lot of saliva comes out, and reddish granules around the mouth and the foot of the cattle. The small red granules will be seen. So these are the very common symptom of foot and mouth disease in animals. How can we prevent the diseases in animals? Because animals, they live in open areas, they do not live in a room, so they have to be properly prevented, because otherwise it may cause lot of loss in animal husbandry and in the food industries. So it is very important to prevent the diseases in animals. First thing what we have to do is proper sanitation. Sanitation means the place where they are living, that should be properly clean. There should be no stagnant water. It should be properly ventilated, and whatever excreta is being given out by the animals should be clean at proper interval of time. So this proper sanitation is very important for the prevention of disease. Otherwise, it may become the cause for the spread of many diseases. Diet control. The diet should be given to the animals in a proper manner. Whatever is required to the animals, it should be given. It should be rich in roughage, proteins. Okay, if it is a milch animal, then they should be given vitamins and the protein diet rich along with the roughage and the fats. Proper rest. Animals should also be given proper rest. Okay, because they really work hard. They are very helpful for us, for human beings, but they should also get the proper rest. Another, use of veterinary services for diagnosing and treating the disease, means they should be properly treated. And in human beings, we take care of our babies, we take them to the doctor for proper vaccination. In the same manner, even animals should be taken to their doctor. We call these doctor veterinary doctor, for the proper vaccination, for the proper care. They should be taken there. Now, whatever vaccination is required, it should be provided to the animals. Then only we can prevent the diseases in animals. Now the next is the microorganisms, the diseases caused in plants. The diseases caused by microorganisms in plants. Now many microorganisms cause diseases in plants, such as wheat, rice, potato, sugarcane, orange, apple, cotton. These are the very common plants where you can see the diseases in plants. This is the very common disease found in plant, that is rust. You can see the brown patches on the leaves. It is called as rust, caused by fungi. Very commonly seen in maximum plants. They suffer from this rust disease, and it is caused by fungi. Smut, which is caused in wheat, it is again a fungal disease, and you can see the grains, they have become very less in the shaft. and you can see there is cluster of the leaves. So this happens in the smut, and it is very common in corn also. This is a picture of a corn where it is suffering from a smut disease. Then this is a blast or paddy rice. Again, it is a fungal disease. You can see again brown and white patches. It is called as blast. In this, you feel leaves, they have become dry completely. They are not green. So this is called as blast disease caused by fungi. Then there is a citrus canker. A disease name is citrus canker, occur in oranges. And this is very common disease. You must have observed whenever you buy oranges from the market. They have a black spots. So this is called a citrus canker. It is a bacterial disease. Then yellow vein mosaic, it is a viral disease in okra, bhindi we call it. Okay, this is a very common disease in okra caused by virus. Now the crop diseases are transmitted through seeds, air and soil. So what the diseases which may occur in plants, they generally spread, either transmitted through the seeds. If the seeds are not healthy, the plants may get the disease, or through air and soil. The plant diseases reduce the crop yield. This is the major problem. It happens if the plant gets the disease, the crop yield will definitely get reduced, and it will affect the crop production. These can be controlled by sowing seed resistant varieties of the seeds. This we have discussed in our first chapter also, that before sowing the seeds, first we should treat the seeds, okay, either by fungicides or by testing the seeds whether they are healthy or not healthy. So this is the first step we should take care while sowing the seeds. Treating the seeds before sowing and spraying pesticides including fungicides, insecticides on the plants. So once the plants, when they grow in the field, they should be treated by spraying the pesticides, because if there is any chance of microorganisms may grow in the field, they may die. They may be treated because of these insecticides and fungicides. So this is all for today's class. I hope this has become clear, the different types of the disease occurring in animals and plants. I request you all to go through the different types of the disease and learn their names. Thank you.